From the WEAC studio in Oxford, you're watching the award-winning Pigskin Roundup on TV 24.
Good Friday evening and welcome to the studios here at WEAC TV 24 as well as WOTM. It's hard to believe, but we are in week 10 of the high school football season. This is the Pigskin Roundup here. Anna Catherine Alderman, Gerhard Mathangani. It's hard to believe, AC, that we have now been doing this 11 total weeks, 10 weeks on the calendar overall when you compare it with what the HSAA says, and we got the playoffs coming up next week.
I know, week 10. I know we've said this the past 3 weeks,
yeah,
but it's hard to believe that we got this far, this quick.
Exactly. There's so many teams that will march on to the playoffs. A lot of other teams will hang it up and football season is over. We'll get to all the playoff details with teams here in the East Alabama community as this show goes along, especially towards the end. We'll also talk a little bit of volleyball, crowning champions there as well. We'll get you some scores and some highlights. We will start with scores here in East Alabama. We'll start with the game from last night. It was a WOTM AHSAA game of the week between Central Phoenix City and Oxford. This was the number 3 team in 7A against the Oxford Yellow Jackets, who won a region championship. This shows you just how good this Central Phoenix City football team is. I was able to cover this game yesterday down in the Phoenix City area. 53-7, your final score as Caleb Nix, Patrick Nix, and the Red Devils improved to 10-0 on the year. Highlights of that one coming up.
Southside with their first road loss this season. The Etowah Blue Devils got the win at home, 27-14.
I really like these games in this week 10 because you have a lot of non-region games, actually all non-region games, and you have a lot of interesting matchups here. Two teams playing for pride between Pell City and May Jemison. At last check, Pell City with the win up north, 50-26 over the Jaguars.
You just mentioned you have a lot of, 5A playing 4A, 1A playing 2A. So this was the number 4 team in 4A and the number 9 team in 5A playing. And it was the Central Clay County Volunteers on top tonight, 30-16.
Meanwhile, Shelby County, a team that is moving on into the playoffs, taking on Talladega. A little primer right before the playoffs for them. Coach Shannenfelder and his crew, it's been a tough year overall. We think they're going into the right direction, obviously playing a really tough region. Shelby County with the win as they march on to the postseason, 35-21.
Benjamin Russell with the win tonight over the Sylacauga Aggies, 35-28.
Meanwhile, a game that you'll see right here, it is our Pigskin Roundup game of the week over at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. Piedmont needed to win this game in order to move up with tiebreakers to the number 1 slot. They do not win. Alexandria comes up with a monster win. This is a really good game. Our guy Kyle was there at this one over at the Field of Champions. Alexandria gets the win 25-20. So two things are at play here. Alexandria goes 10-0 for the first time under Todd Ginn. Meanwhile, Piedmont moves to the number 3 seed in their region. You read that right. They're 8-2, the number 2 team currently in the state, but they're number 3 in their region. Really dynamic situation set up in Class 3A, Region 5. We'll get to all the details a little bit later on in our show, but it's the Valley Cubs. They are the lead, 10-0 on the year with the win.
And the game that I went to tonight, very rainy over in Cleveland County, but did not stop the Tigers. They beat the Randolph County Tigers 56-6.
And we'll speak with a very happy Coach Joby Burns from Cleveland County coming up in our next segment. Meanwhile, Ohatchee and Munford hooking up. Ohatchee going into the playoffs, looking for a little momentum, and they get it today over in the Lions Den, 47-20, your final score from Munford.
And a game from last night, White Plains on the road beating Pleasant Valley 27-6.
Nice win there for Coach Chandler Tyree and White Plains. Meanwhile, going over to Childersburg, a nice little battle here between two teams in the Talladega County area. Childersburg with a win over Fayetteville, final score 39-0, Tigers with the victory.
And a big win for the Hoax Bluff Eagles tonight as they beat Sardis 42-14.
Meanwhile, Glencoe, a team that struggled a little bit throughout the course of the year, taking on Plainview. Of course, the region that Glencoe's in and the region that Plainview's in, they match up a little bit later. Plainview going into the playoffs. We'll get you their matchup as the show rolls along, but they get the win tonight to improve to 7-3 on the year, 39-13.
And the Asheville Bulldogs improved to 6-4 this season with a win over the Weaver Bearcats, 33-6.
Meanwhile, a game from yesterday, Collinsville and Valley Head. An impressive win there for Valley Head. 27-14 over the Collinsville Panthers. It's been a kind of a tough year for Collinsville, but Valley Head marches on with the W, 27-14 in that one.
And a big game in Wadley tonight as the number 5 team in 2A traveled to the number 6 team in 1A. And Wadley, with its first loss this season in a close game, Spring Garden 21, Wadley 19.
Really impressive there going into that game. Both teams undefeated as far as their overall record. Meanwhile, these also are two teams that are both going into the playoffs as well, Cedar Bluff and Sandrock. Sandrock, a very impressive win over a really good Cedar Bluff team. Sandrock obviously playing at an inter-county game over in the Cherokee County area. The Wildcats getting the victory, 47-13.
Westbrook Christian picks up its 4th win of the season. And this game was pretty close in the first quarter and the first half, and Westbrook Christian ran away at the end with a 37-26 win over Donahoe.
We'll catch highlights of that one coming up a little bit as well. Meanwhile, Whitesburg Christian, a touchdown better than Coosa Christian, 35-28. The Conquerors having a strong season, obviously coming in with new coach and new energy. But Whitesburg Christian gets the win today. A pair of teams playing essentially for pride in this one. But Whitesburg Christian does get the win.
And 2 1A teams, but different regions. Winterboro Bulldogs traveled to Berry tonight, and it was the Wildcats in the end with a 34-20 win.
Meanwhile, Raglan putting up a really, really strong performance today. A team in Asbury not going to the playoffs. It's really easy for Raglan to maybe bypass this week and look ahead to the playoffs. They do not do so. They take care of business at home. 44-6 the final score as the Purple Devils march on to the postseason.
And a tough loss for the Woodland Bobcats tonight on senior night. This was kind of a low-scoring game, but in the end, it was Horseshoe Bend 14, Woodland 6.
Meanwhile, two teams, one of the teams looking for their first win of the season, they do not get it in TCC. Central Coosa got their first win a week ago, and they end off the season on a good little note. Keep in mind here, for all these teams that aren't going to the playoffs, getting a win the last game of the regular season really could do a lot for you as you move forward, kind of getting a win in a bowl moving forward. A really big one. A nice win today for Central Coosa. The Cougars put up 60 on TCC.
And our final score from tonight, Galesville Trojans on top, beating ASD 52-14.
One of the only games that ASD plays a team in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So a really good performance there, and also it's good for Galesville to schedule ASD on their schedule for them. Meanwhile, scheduling right here for Pigskin Roundup, we'll have more scores and more highlights. We know you're watching right now, but for those of you who are not watching and for those of you that want to keep up with everything going on in the East Alabama football community, these are the ways to watch. You can watch us on your normal regular television and cable on TV 24 as well as WOTM. We are also streaming live on YouTube. We also post those links on our Facebook page as well as our Twitter account. And for those two mediums, AC?
Absolutely. Follow along on all of our social media. And as we mentioned, the live stream link is on social media. Really great next week for all those people that are going to be on the road on the playoffs. You can live stream on YouTube and watch us on your way home. Get all those scores and catch some, field level views of the band and the cheerleaders and some exciting scenes from the games.
Really interesting always. Friday nights have been always great in East Alabama, always great this year as well. There's a lot of great football here as we now go on into the postseason. Well, coming up next here on the Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team 1 Automotive, we will have some highlights. We'll also talk a little Cleburne County football with the head coach of the Cleburne County Tigers, Joby Burns.
Hi folks, Angie Stevens here. Did you know that Team 1 Automotive employs more families than any other dealership in Northeast Alabama? We're proud to be the leader in serving this area simply by the number of employees we have on board. And we're looking for career-minded people to join us. So if you're interested in a long-term employment opportunity, come in and see any of our Team 1 dealerships for more information. So check us out now and apply online at team1connect.com.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Hey folks, this is George Brunner with Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac. Superior offers a full lineup of new GMCs, Cadillacs, and Hyundais. Between our 2 locations in Anniston and the one in Pell City, we have a great selection. Superior has the best selection of used trucks I've ever seen, and I've been doing this a long time. See all our vehicles at our new website, superioralabama.com. That's superioralabama.com. Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac, where you're always more than just a number.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
This is your invitation to shop Team One Nissan in Albertville. Everyone likes doing business with people you know and trust. Our entire staff at Team One Nissan is people that work and live right here in our community. People that are your neighbors. So when you're shopping for your next vehicle, shop where you get hometown service. And speaking of service, our staff is here to serve you. Check us out at team1nissan.com.
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team One Automotive. Another one of our fine sponsors is Cutter's Pizza and Wings. 2 locations to serve you, one in Alexandria on Highway 431 and another one in Oxford on Hamrick Drive East. Add their full menu online at cutterspizzeria.com. They also have DoorDash delivery for you and a couple of ways to order online. You can also visit their social media pages for all of their fine deals. They're on Facebook and on Instagram. Just search for Cutter's Pizzeria. They feed our team every week. They'll feed yours as well. Special thank you so much to them for their sponsorship here of the Pigskin Roundup. We're so glad to be joined by the head coach of the Cleburne County Tigers, Joby Burns. And Coach Burns, we will start with your performance tonight. You were able to put up 56 points in a really, really fantastic victory. Number one, congratulations on ending the season on a really strong note. And talk about your team's performance tonight.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we came out, played really well. Got, just
All right, we'll look to get back with Coach Burns in just a moment here. We'll get back in touch with him in just a little bit. But before we do so, we'll get to some highlights really quick. We got Westbrook Christian and Donahoe, 2 teams coming out of one team coming out of Class 1A, and Westbrook Christian coming out of Class 2A. Westbrook Christian on the move there at Donahoe. Donahoe having senior night, and senior night at the Golden Eagle Stadium, or at the Falcon Stadium. We'll have that in just a little bit. Well, first of all, I'll be joined once again by Coach. Coach, you with us?
yeah, hey, yeah, I'm here.
Apologies, Coach. That was my fault there. All right, first off, Coach, we were talking about your team's performance tonight. Assess the way your team played.
Played really well tonight. Came out, got started early. Scored, I believe, every time we had it in the first half, except for the first time. We actually fumbled down around the goal line. Defense played really well. Really got after them pretty good. And didn't give up any big plays, so especially in the first half till late in the game. But came out, played well. Good way to end the year.
Absolutely. Coach, it was kind of a rainy night over in Heflin tonight. Did that change your game plan at all? I know you ran the ball a lot.
Well, no. I mean, great thing about having the turf now, it's the field's good. If the balls were a little wet, but, we're lucky enough several times this year to practice in the rain. So we pretty much, did what we planned to do, so it didn't affect us too much.
Coach, one of the things that we talked about with your squad coming in is you had a really fine start. Talk about the way that your team ended the year last year and some of the things you saw with your ball club as you started the year this year. I know you're playing a really, really tough region, and your non-region games were also tough as well. What were some of the things you learned about your squad from fall camp through the early part of the season and into the regular year?
Well, yeah, we did. We started well. Of course, ended the year last year with a win against Randolph County. Did start well this year, and we're disappointed, that we weren't able to win a few of those games there, at the end of the year to get us in the playoffs. But we played some really, really good teams. We just got to learn and find a way to get a win in those kind of games right there against the, really, really good teams that we're going to have to play year in and year out to get into the playoffs.
Exactly, Coach. You had 2 wins that first year, 3 in that second, 4 now. Every year, your team's getting a little better and a little better. What are some of the things you're instilling within this program in order to have these guys believing and then playing on a high level, as you said, in a very tough region?
Well, just working hard every day and putting in the time and winning. Just trying to establish that winning culture, that the habits, our daily habits, just to get us through those tough times, and we're getting there. We're not certainly not where we want to be, but we're getting there. We had a good group of seniors this year that were good leaders, and I was glad they were able to go out tonight with a win. I got a lot of guys coming back next year, and we look for bigger and better things.
I was going to ask you about both dynamics. One of the things that was with your team this year is we knew you guys were asking a lot of young guys to play. And you also have a lot of seniors. For the seniors that have played their last football game, what are some of the messages that you had for them? And then for some of the guys that are coming back to keep this momentum rolling, what was your message to those guys as they prepare for 2022?
Well, our seniors, I'm telling you, I've told these guys a lot. They're some really, really high character young men. They're going to be very successful because they work hard, they do the right things, and they've been very good leaders for us, just very good guys, and they're going to be successful in the things that they do, and just challenged our juniors, which I told them, tonight, you're seniors now, so they've got to raise the bar, and we want to get that bar higher and higher every year, and just do the right thing every day, work hard every day, and keep getting us to where we want to be.
Absolutely. Final question for you, Coach. I know you play in a really an area that loves their football, an area that's about community there in Heflin over in Cleveland County. What are some of the things that you've seen as you now kind of make sure your program is implemented fully? The next year's class will be the first that go 9 through 12 with you, and then more after that you'll have your 8 through 12, and after that you'll have your 7 through 12. What are some of the things that you've seen within this program, within this community, that you'll use as you continue to move forward?
Well, we've definitely got a ton of support here. People love football. It's important. They we just from, the things that we've got, we got the turf, but we've also got an outstanding weight room. Our administration, they care about us. They want us to do good. And we just got a ton of support from everybody. And we just want to do things the right way. We want to establish a winning culture, a culture that's going to go out and compete to win, compete to do our very, very best every single day. And not only on the football field, but in everything that we do. And just be high character guys and represent this community the right way and make them proud of the things we do.
Well, you're certainly doing that, Coach, and we certainly appreciate your time here on the Pigskin Roundup. You're building it the right way and continued success as you move forward.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No doubt about it. Coach Joby Burns, head coach of the Cleveland County Tigers, joining us right here tonight on the Pigskin Roundup. We talked earlier a little bit about the highlights we would have, and we teased it a second ago, and now we will get to the highlights from Donahoe and Westbrook Christian. It was senior night as the Falcons hosted Westbrook Christian. We'll go straight to the video there from the Anniston area. This is a really a good season, I think, in terms of the overall proximity for both teams. Both teams have been used to so much success, not as much success this year as they've had in the past. We know that they'll continue on under Coach both Mark Sanders and Drew Knowles. Early touchdown from Donahoe gave Donahoe a 7-0 lead. This touchdown here by Samuel Asher Keck from Westbrook Christian tied one up at 7 o'clock, or 7, close to 7 o'clock there. Meanwhile, the Westbrook Christian offense would have a touchdown here. This is in possession from Carmichael Catling, 2-point conversion would be good. 15-7 lead. Donahoe answers in the second quarter. Rich Hopkins rolls out, hits Grant Steed. He goes in for the score. Westbrook Christian ties that one at 15, or cuts that lead to 15-13. Just before the half, this field goal here is good by Leighton Crawford. The Warriors took an 18-13 lead to halftime. Should note that the first touchdown from Petros Folsom. But you see the final score here as Donahoe falls. Westbrook Christian gets the win. Both teams playing in their last game of the season. 37-26 the final score as the Warriors get the win there. So congratulations to Coach Drew Knowles and his squad. And we've talked to Drew Knowles off camera. We've talked to Mark Sanders on it. And you have to feel like these two programs, it's because of their success, maybe not the kind of year they want, but you have to know with those two coaches they're going in the right direction.
Absolutely, and it's hard when you have a small school, especially when you have a lot of injuries on both teams.
Correct.
It's hard to replace those people when you're replacing them with the 7th or 8th grader. And the people that are playing them are juniors and seniors who have been playing this whole time.
Exactly, and both teams we know will get a lot better from this. Meanwhile, there was some good news for Donahoe. You'll see that coming up a little bit later on in another part of the athletics program there with the Falcons. Well, coming up next here on the Pigskin Roundup, we will have some more scores and more highlights for you. Keep it right here.
Had an early 7-0 lead, and then a really strong ground game by Nix, and you saw Nix a little bit there.
Hey guys, you drive a truck? At Team One, we got trucks. Colorado, Silverado, Ram, Tacoma, Tundra, and the all-new Titan. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
If you need a new vehicle and think you can't get financing, Team One can help. If you make $350 a week, Team One can finance you. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, Team One can finance you. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team One Automotive. We've rolled on with one highlight earlier. We'll do so with another one right now. Going over to a game from last night is the AHSAA WOTM Game of the Week from Central Phoenix City. Let's go to it. The number 3 team in the state in Class 7A, Central Phoenix City, hosting Oxford. First play of the game. This is Caleb Nix, younger brother of Bo Nix. Airs it out, 66-yard pitch and catch. Tommy Griffin Jr. on the other end, an early 7-0 lead for the Red Devils. Next drive, Nix showing off the running game, breaks a tackle, finally pushed out inside the 10-yard line. Jameel Johnson finishes that drive with a 4-yard touchdown run. Central Phoenix City early 14-0 lead. A screen pass here. Johnson once again finds the end zone. First quarter, just like that, 21-0. After a Red Devil field goal, Central Phoenix City back on the move. Check out the great patience by Nix. No one open downfield, so he tucks it. He runs it for a nice gain. A few plays later, Nix buys some time with his feet. This is college-level stuff here. Finds Marquavius Terry in the back of the end zone, 31-0. The defense was sensational as well. The tackle for loss here, just under 200 yards total for the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Meanwhile, Nix had a great game. 4 touchdowns, 272 yards. The last touchdown to talented junior Carmelo English, 38-0 at that point. Jamel Johnson hat trick there with the 3rd touchdown of the day. They had botched the extra point, but when you have Nix back there, you can call your fire or whatever the the augmented call is. They get a 2-point conversion, 46-0 lead at halftime. Both coaches agreed to a running clock. I think it was a good thing. They're both going to the playoffs, both region champions. So a good chance to get some younger guys in, and I'll tell you who took advantage of that. Zach Simmons put some good tape on the film, young man. He scores a touchdown here. Oxford scored at the very end of the game to not get shut out officially. However, it's Central Phoenix City's night. 53-7. This team looks to be right in the middle of things in the 7A race for a state championship. Everybody that probably marked off Thompson as your defending champion, going in as your state champion, I pause on that. Of course, you had last week's result against Hoover, and I'll tell you from firsthand last night, Central Phoenix City really looks the part. Mickey Shaddricks and I called that game. We got a chance to talk to Coach Patrick Nix about his team going 10-0, also the play of his son, Caleb Nix, and being able to coach both Caleb and Bo in high school off to a great start as they go to the playoffs.
I'm just very proud of the guys, very proud of, did not have the year that we wanted last year, had a lot of really good players coming back, knew we did, knew we had a chance to be a really good football team, had a great offseason, very proud of them. Going 10-0, fourth time in school history to go 10-0. So very proud of the guys, very proud of the staff, administration, just incredible. Mr. Wilkes, Mr. Vickers, the support that they give us, the support the community gives us. When you have the year that we've had, it takes a lot of people to do it. So just very thankful, very blessed, to be here. Caleb's been on all year. I mean, he's played incredible. We knew coming in the season that was the one thing that we had coming back was a quarterback. And when you have a quarterback coming back that's been in an offense since he was basically born and knows exactly what's going on, it just gives you a huge advantage. And I got out of college coaching to have a chance to coach my two boys, and it's been incredible. Having senior night tonight with him, and it's been absolutely incredible having the opportunity to coach them, and we don't turn it off. It's football all the time. They love it. I love it. I'm the same guy on the field. They're the same guys on the field, same guys at home. We just are who we are, and have a blast doing it, really enjoy it. And I've just been blessed that both of them are pretty good football players. And as a dad, very proud to be able to coach him. And but as a coach, very thankful I've got him that I can call plays for.
A really special thing with Coach Patrick Nix coaching his son, both Bo at Pinson Valley and at Scottsboro, and Caleb, who now is a record setter at Central Phoenix City High School. That closes out a great season of our WOTM AHSAA Games of the Week. You see all the games here, as now most of these teams will go into the postseason. It's been a really fun year calling these games with Mickey Shaddricks as well as Landrum Roberts, Vince Early with the production and his entire crew. It's been a fun year on the Thursday night high school football Games of the Week. We also want to keep in mind, remind you that there will be a game coming up next week on WOTM. It is BB Comer and GW Long. Of course, BB Comer and Sylacauga are both in the playoffs since they share a home field. One will play Thursday, one will play Friday. We will have that BB Comer GW Long game, a playoff game in the first round right here. We talked to Coach Adam Foster earlier in the year. He's really juiced about his club. Of course, they got to win last year in the playoffs via forfeit. They want to earn it this time. He said so on our program here a few weeks ago. They'll have their chance against GW Long. A really good baseball program, having a really good football season as well. Catch that game Thursday night, 7 o'clock right here on WOTM. We'll keep it locked right here on Pigskin Roundup. We'll have more scores and highlights on the Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team 1 Automotive.
This is your invitation to shop Team 1 Nissan in Albertville. Everyone likes doing business with people you know and trust. Our entire staff at Team 1 Nissan is people that work and live right here in our community. People that are your neighbors. So when you're shopping for your next vehicle, shop where you get hometown service. And speaking of service, our staff is here to serve you. Check us out at team1nissan.com.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money. So we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
Hey folks, I just want to remind you all that Team One Automotive is proud to be a part of Pigskin Roundup, proud to be a part of this community, and we want you on our team. Hey guys, you drive a truck? At Team One, we got trucks. Colorado, Silverado, Ram, Tacoma, Tundra, and the all-new Titan. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team One Automotive. If you weren't with us at the top of the show, we'll quickly go over with you the final games of the regular season here in the East Alabama community. We'll start off with the game you saw highlights of just a moment ago. Central Phoenix City all over Oxford last night, 53-7.
Etowah improves to 6-4 this season with a win over Southside tonight, 27-14.
Meanwhile, May Jemison and Pell City hooking up, a pair of teams not going to the playoffs. At last check, 50-26, your final score as Pell City gets the win in the Huntsville area.
And a big game with number 4 in 4A, Hanley, traveling to number 9 in 5A, Central Clay County. Tonight, the Volunteers beat the Tigers 30-16.
Meanwhile, Shelby County, we're getting a win over Talladega. Shelby County going into the playoffs. Talladega will not, however, Shelby County getting a nice win, 35-21.
Benjamin Russell with the win over Sylacauga tonight, 35-28.
Meanwhile, the game of the weekend, you'll see highlights of this one in just a little bit, and Catherine will have those momentarily. Alexandria over Piedmont at the Field of Champions, a 10-0 record after a 25-20 win over the Bulldogs.
And you just heard from their head coach, the Cleveland County Tigers, with a big win over Randolph County Tigers tonight, 56-6.
Meanwhile, Ohatchee going into the playoffs with some momentum. 8-2 on the year. Number 2 seed in that region. A nice win today over Munford. Final score in that one, 47-20.
And a score from a game last night. White Plains Wildcats on the road playing Pleasant Valley. Wildcats with the win, 27-6.
Pair of teams hooking up in Talladega County. Childersburg getting the bragging rights for the next year with a big win over Fayetteville, 39-0.
And Hoax Bluff improves to 4-6 this season with a win over Sardis tonight, 42-14.
Plainview is playoff bound, and they'll go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum. 39-13, a winner over Glencoe.
Asheville with the win at home tonight, 33-6 over the Weaver Bearcats.
Nice win for Valley Head, 27-14 over Collinsville. Went on the road, picked up that W. Valley Head now 5-5.
And a really big game in Wadley tonight. Bulldogs with their first loss on the season in a close game. Spring Garden wins 21-19.
Pair of Cherokee County rivals hooking up. Both teams going into the playoffs. This is essentially to get some momentum going into the playoffs. Also, so bragging rights, and Sandrock gets those bragging rights for the next year. 47-13 over Cedar Bluff.
And you just saw highlights from this game. It was the Westbrook Christian Warriors with the win over Donahoe, 37-26.
Whitesburg Christian gets the best of Coosa Christian over in the Gadsden area. Final score in that one, 35-28.
And Berry getting the win at home tonight over Winterboro, 34-20.
Meanwhile, Raglan going into the playoffs with plenty of momentum, 44-6, the final score from Raglan.
And a kind of close game tonight in Woodland. Horseshoe Bend, 14, Woodland, 6.
Meanwhile, Central Coosa ends the year on a 2-game winning streak, and they keep TCC winless on the year, 60-20, the final score from Central Coosa.
And ASD playing tonight at Galesville. Trojans with the win, 52-14.
Been a really, really great season overall for teams that are both in the playoffs and not in the playoffs. A lot of teams that are not in the playoffs getting some big wins, some big momentum going into the postseason. Meanwhile, there are a pair of teams that will be going to the playoffs. They played at Piedmont last night or tonight. Basically, it meant the game a lot for Piedmont. The Piedmont needed to win this game in order to move themselves up into the region rankings. You'll have a little bit more of that and coming up in just a bit. Playing a really good Alexandria team, 9-0 on the year.
Yes, undefeated Alexandria traveled to the Field of Champions tonight at Piedmont, our game of the week. Both teams have had outstanding seasons this year, and what a game to close out the regular season with these two teams. Both teams will be preparing for the playoffs next week. You see Alexandria head coach Todd Ginn here and Piedmont head coach Steve Smith looking for a big win tonight, set them up for the playoffs next week. Starting in the first quarter tonight, Jack Hayes' pass to Coleman Reed was broken up by Avante Davis. And then the Valley Cubs take over, and Javis McGee fakes the handoff, throws it to Jake Upton, who takes it in for the Alexandria touchdown. Valley Cubs go up 7-0. Bulldogs back on offense, and Hayes throws a deep ball to Austin Estes, but it's incomplete. Pass is broken up again, and the Valley Cubs played excellent defense tonight. But Javis McGee's pass is intercepted by Amarion Foster for the Bulldogs, and then after 3 incomplete passes in a row by Piedmont, Alexandria is back on offense, and another interception, this time by Tanner McQueen. So Bulldogs defense answering right back. Needing a good offensive drive, Hayes throws to Estes again, and this time he goes 70 yards for the touchdown, and the Bulldogs tie it up 7-7. Next drive, he rolls out, throw to Antonio Ross, and he takes it in for the touchdown. Grayson Forrest lines up for the kick, and it's blocked by the Bulldogs, so your score at halftime was 13-7. Alexandria holds on to that lead, and your final score is Alexandria 25, Piedmont 20.
Really fantastic game for both squads, and really good, I think, momentum for the playoffs going into both postseasons for both these teams. And a big congratulations goes out to Todd Ginn, winning the 10th in a row, completed the regular season with a perfect record, and they look really good going into these playoffs.
They do. They've had some big games this season. Last week they played Leeds. Tonight a big game against Piedmont, and Piedmont had a lot to win, and they still came out on top. And now tonight only 5 points, but a lot of their scores have been pretty dominating.
Exactly. Really impressive. A lot of blowouts, and they got a blowout last week. And Anna Catherine, you teed that one up perfectly for our player of the week, following our game of the week. He was a happy guy last week. He was a happy guy tonight. Antonio Ross is our player of the week after a really fine performance against Leeds last week, 193 yards rushing. He also had 3 touchdowns all in the first half. And you talked about blowout wins. They got a blowout win last week.
Yes, they did.
Last week scored over 40 points, held Leeds to just 7. And now you got a chance to catch up with him as our player of the week.
Yes.
As you do each and every week.
Every week, Player of the Week is always exciting. As I mentioned last week, since it's October, we're doing some Halloween-themed questions. Favorite Halloween movie, do you like candy corn, that sort of thing. And spoiler alert, we finally found somebody that likes pineapple on their pizza.
Really fantastic stuff. Here it is.
What is your favorite Halloween movie?
Scream.
Okay. Do you have a favorite fast food place?
Cookout.
Do you like pineapple on your pizza? Yes. You're the first one. Are you superstitious?
Kinda.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Would you rather watch a college game or an NFL game?
College.
And what's your favorite part about Friday nights?
The crowd.
Another fantastic job, Anna Catherine. You get a chance to learn a lot about these players really off the field. And what I kind of like about that segment is we see the yards, the runs, the touchdowns, the wins, the losses. But it's kind of a good chance to get to know the person underneath the helmet.
Yes, I think it's always fun to see their personality. Sometimes they are really excited about cookout, or they are really, they really don't like pineapple on their pizza, and they are very adamant that that is not their thing. So it's always really fun to see kind of the personality besides what you see on the field on Friday nights.
And I like the creative leg you have using Michael Scott from The Office there.
I'm a big Office fan. I couldn't help it.
and Antonio wasn't super, he was kind of not really.
Kinda.
He was stitious. Very, very stitious. Good job, Anna Catherine. Congratulations to Antonio Ross and the Alexandria Valley Cubs. 10-0 on the season. He's our player of the week this week. We'll keep it right here on the Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team 1 Automotive. We will have some more highlights coming your way. We'll also set you up for the playoffs coming up in just a bit.
This is your invitation to shop Team 1 Nissan in Albertville. Everyone likes doing business with people you know and trust. Our entire staff at Team 1 Nissan is people that work and live right here in our community. People that are your neighbors. So when you're shopping for your next vehicle, shop where you get hometown service. And speaking of service, our staff is here to serve you. Check us out at team1nissan.com.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Hey folks, this is George Brunner with Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac. Superior offers a full lineup of new GMCs, Cadillacs, and Hyundai. Between our 2 locations in Anniston and the one in Pell City, we have a great selection. Superior has the best selection of used trucks I've ever seen, and I've been doing this a long time. See all our vehicles at our new website, superioralabama.com. That's superioralabama.com. Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac, where you're always more than just a number.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
Hi folks, Angie Stevens here. Did you know that Team 1 Automotive employs more families than any other dealership in Northeast Alabama? We're proud to be the leader in serving this area simply by the number of employees we have on board. And we're looking for career-minded people to join us. So if you're interested in a long-term employment opportunity, come in and see any of our Team 1 dealerships for more information. So check us out now and apply online at team1connect.com.
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup. We want to thank all of our awesome sponsors, but one of them specifically is Cutter's Pizza and Wings. They have 2 locations, one out in Alexandria on Highway 431 and one in Oxford on Hamrick Drive East. You can check out their full menu online at cutterspizzeria.com. They also do DoorDash delivery, so you don't have to get out and go get it yourself. And check out their social media on Facebook and Instagram for all of their good deals.
Shout out to Cutters.
Shout out to Cutters.
Shout out to Cutters. Nice, awesome inside joke. But sincerely, a shout out to Cutters there. All right, so we'll go on with more highlights here. One team in the playoffs, another team not in the playoffs. Ohatchee looking to get themselves into really playoff form after a really, really tough region in Class 3A Region 5. They're in the Lions Den facing off against Munford. Go straight to the highlights from the Lions Den. Munford celebrating senior night tonight, taking on Ohatchee. Ohatchee's offense, though, with the quick start off in this one, and they have a really difficult offense to get a hand on. Their quarterback, Eli Ennis, does a great job running the football, but they also have a good running back in Kyler Weiss right here, straight up the middle, well blocked. Ohatchee cruises into the end zone, an early 7-0 lead for the Indians. Meanwhile, Weiss right back at it on the next possession, back up the middle. Another great blocking scheme here into the end zone for the touchdown. Extra point, no good, 13-0. Munford up early. Munford also now, Ohatchee up early on in the game, but Munford coming back a little bit here. See the pass complete there to Jacoby Young. And then a bit of an odd play here as the refs seemingly blow this one dead. A lot of players could just stop playing except this young man. He takes it in for the end zone and they count the touchdowns. The touchdown is ruled good, 13-6. Ohatchee with the lead. Meanwhile, Ohatchee continues right back. Eli Ennis to Troy Galloway, picks up a few yards there. And a first down. Ohatchee continues to run over this Munford defense as Eli Ennis. We've seen him do it all year long. This time goes in for the score, stretching their lead once again. Munford looking to answer back a completed pass to Sylvester Smith. He'll play on Saturdays. He's a really good athlete there for the Lions. Picks up a few yards before running out of bounds, and then a handoff to Jacoby Young. He takes it right up the middle. Give a lot of credit to this Munford Lions football team. They continue to fight the entire year. Obviously playing a really tough region. It's a really good game, I think, honestly, for both teams as they move forward. Here's Eli Ennis once again taking it straight down the sideline. He could do this with the best of them in all of high school football. Goes in for the touchdown. And then on the two-point conversion, we saw this earlier in the Central Phoenix City game. How about Eli Ennis taking it in for the score there? Two-point conversion is good. That is en route to a 47-20 win over the Munford Lions. So actually going into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum, and also Munford, a strong season overall, a strong effort really overall, but obviously a really tough region. They followed a 3-7 on the year, but congratulations goes out to Ohatchee. Keep it right here on the Pigskin Roundup. We'll have a lot more highlights for you, some highlights for you, but we'll also set up the playoff picture for those teams in the East Alabama community going into the playoffs. You do not want to miss those matchups, those pairings. We'll also celebrate some teams in this area and around the state who took home volleyball state championships from Birmingham. All that and more is next.
If you need a new vehicle and think you can't get financing, Team One can help. If you make $350 a week, Team One can finance you. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, Team One can finance you. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
Hey guys, you drive a truck? At Team One, we got trucks. Colorado, Silverado, Ram, Tacoma, Tundra, and the all-new Titan. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team One Automotive. In about 6 weeks from now, we will start to crown champions in football. However, the volleyball season is now done. They had the games over at the Birmingham Crossplex and Bill Harris Arena. One of the teams that took home the state championship, the Donahoe Falcons.
Yes, the Donahoe Falcons won the 1A state championship. They beat Bayshore Christian, who beat them last year in the 1A state championship. The Falcons had 4 girls on the all-tournament team: Maggie Wakefield, Sam Wakefield, Estella Cannell, and Lily Grace Draper, who was also the MVP.
Fantastic run there by the Lady Falcons, and you have to know that it has to be really satisfying. Knocking off the team that beat you last year. Really great to see the Donahoe faithful out there cheering on the Lady Falcons, who end up getting that victory. So Donahoe is your state champion in Class 1A volleyball. Meanwhile, a team that we see all the time here in this position, Addison, with a 3-0 win over Orange Beach.
In 3A, Trinity Presbyterian beat Montgomery Catholic 3-1.
Battle of private schools in Class 4A, Westminster Christian took all 5 sets to crown a champion there, 3-2, as Westminster Christian knocks off Montgomery Academy.
And Bayside Academy swept East Limestone 3-0 to win the 5A state championship.
I'm not sure if there's a much better athletic program right now in all of sports than Mountain Brook. How versatile are they? Won a basketball state championship for the boys side last year. Their football team right now in the top 5. Their lady volleyball team 3 state championships in a row, a 3-0 win over St. Paul's. And the football team, once again, looking good this year.
And in Class 7A, Spain Park swept McGill-Tulane Catholic 3-0.
Congratulations to all the ladies there, winning state championships in high school volleyball. We know this is a football show, but we all always love to celebrate all of our athletes. Also cross country going on right now, and we're getting into basketball season, into wrestling season, as well as swimming and diving. So it should be a really fun time as we go from outdoors to indoors as the weather gets a little cooler here in the state of Alabama. Well, we promised you a look at the playoffs coming up. We have a really special look. Our guy Jason came up with some great graphics to show you the way that this will all lay out coming up in the first round of the playoffs. We'll also have these graphics on our social media platforms that Anna Catherine talked about earlier. Just look for us on all of our platforms. We'll start in Class 1A. And in 1A, our first matchup that we'll look at is Woodland and Cedar Bluff. Cedar Bluff earning the region championship, and they will host Woodland. Meanwhile, also other matchups there. Galesville will travel over to Wadley. Wadley having a great season. Lost today to Spring Garden, but Wadley, I expect to have another good year. Galesville, congratulations to them going back into the playoffs. Meanwhile, a team that won today as well, Valley Head, facing another team that won. A whole lot of purple will be in the crowd there as Valley Head and Raglan play tomorrow or play next week in the first round of the playoffs at Valley Head. Our final game in the Class 1A bracket that will feature is Summerton Christian and Winterboro. We spoke with head coach Skylar Mansfield of the Winterboro Bulldogs earlier this season. He really liked this football team. They did exactly what they needed to do to make it into the playoffs. So Winterboro will host Summerton Christian.
And moving into the 2A bracket, GW Long will travel to BB Comer for the first round matchup between those two teams. And then Ramburn will travel to Elba in the first round for this matchup. Then up next, we have the Sand Rock Wildcats traveling to the Marks Hill Panthers for that first round matchup. And to round out Class 2A, the Hatton Hornets will be playing Spring Garden Panthers.
We'll move over to the Class 3A bracket. It took all the way till the end of tonight to find out your region champion and the way that 3A Region 5 was seeded. It went Sax 1, Ohatchee 2, Piedmont 3, Wellborn 4. They'll match up with Region 7. So this is the way the playoffs will look. Fife, the defending champion in Class 3A, will take on Wellborn, Fife the 1 seed, and Wellborn the 4 seed. Meanwhile, Plainview will travel over to Sax. Sax is the defending champion. Plainview is that 4 seed there in Region 7. Meanwhile, Piedmont will go to Sylvania in that matchup between the number 2 seed and the number 3 seed. Piedmont is the 3 seed. Sylvania is the 2 seed. And then the final matchup is Geraldine at Ohatchee. Ohatchee is the 2 seed in that region. Geraldine is the 3 seed in that region. Keep in mind, Geraldine is the team that knocked off Fife. This is the reason why this whole region ended up with 3 teams at the top of the region, all with 1 win. It should be really interesting between all four of these games between the teams in Class 3A Region 5 and 3A Region 7, but those are your matchups for next week.
And the Class 4A matchups are pretty interesting. We have been kind of looking at this Region 4A Region 4 this season. And so starting off the bracket, Alabama Christian at Jacksonville. Up next, Cherokee County at Strawn. Then we have Geneva playing at Hanley, and Anniston, even though they beat Hanley, there were some games they had to forfeit, and so they have moved to the number 4 seed, and they will play on the road at St. James, and Etowah will play at Priceville.
Really interesting matchups. All 4, the first 4 you saw are all in the South. Meanwhile, that last matchup is in the 4A North. Meanwhile, moving over to Class 5A, these games that you'll see first are all in the South. It took a while for Region 4 that we talked about earlier with the Class 3A. It took a while to get all these things settled out, but once the dust settled, you have Central Clay as your 1 seed, Sylacauga is your 2 seed, Tallahassee is your 3, and Holtville is your 4. So these are the matchups. Sylacauga at home against Andalusia. Andalusia the 3 seed, Sylacauga the 2 seed. And then moving on to the next matchup, Central Clay County, the 1 seed, and Carroll is the number 4 seed. So your region champion will host Carroll coming up next week. Meanwhile, over in the north side, or the other side of the bracket, you have Lincoln and Russellville. Lincoln will make that long trip over to the northwestern part of the state to face the Russellville Golden Tigers. And Ardmore will face a very dangerous Alexandria football team. This is an Alexandria team that got a big blowout win over Leeds. knocked off Piedmont tonight. A tough task for Ardmore as the Valley Cubs will host them in Death Valley.
And in Class 6A, we saw Oxford win their region last week. They will play the Chelsea Hornets at home next week in the first round of the playoffs.
And the final matchup that we will look at in Class 6A, it is Southside and Mountain Brook. Southside, the number 4 seed, Mountain Brook, your region champion. So a tough task for the Southside Panthers taking on a really good Mountain Brook football team. You never know, though. Playoffs are always full of upsets, and it's been a really, really fun regular season, Anna Catherine. And honestly, I can't wait till we get to the playoffs. What I really love about the playoffs is you have matchups between regions that don't necessarily see each other a lot. Not a lot of really good as far as rivalries go. So you got a lot of interesting matchups there in the playoffs.
Yes, you have a lot of long road trips if you're on the road, if you're not that number 1 seed. But like you said, there's always the risk of an upset.
Right.
People go way deeper in the playoffs than you think they will. People lose early, they're out. So always very interesting.
Sounds cliche,
to see.
but
yeah,
it sounds cliche, but throw the records out.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you get in these playoffs. Toss them all out. It's a one and done season. It's a one-game season.
1 game a week.
One game a season. You got to go 1-0 each week. The team that goes 5-0 in Class 1A through 6A holds the state championship 4 rounds in Class 7A. Before we leave you, and before we leave here for the regular season, we want to show you just how, I would say, determined, just how focused we are in getting you shots. This is something that we've held for a couple of weeks here. Our main man, Kyle, was covering a football game a little bit earlier over in Death Valley at Alexandria, and this is the determination that he had to be able to get these shots. We found out this is a way to kind of crown and cap off and put a bow on the regular season. Let's take a look at it, guys. And one of the things that you always see is our photographers on the sideline. Our main man, Kyle, took a shot. But I'll tell you, that's the level of dedication that our guys have and our girls have to get you shots here on the Pigskin Roundup. We only show you this because Kyle's okay now. Kyle had our game of the week this week. He brings back fantastic footage each week. But I'll tell you what, Anna Catherine, we all got a good laugh out of that one.
Yes, I will say I am always keeping my head on a swivel on the sidelines, trying not to get in the way, trying not to get hit. But
Awesome
you never know what can happen.
Please, we're not asking you to thank us, but you see the level of determination there. Kyle took a shot. Well, that is the conclusion of the regular season here in high school football in East Alabama. We will be back with the playoffs all the way through the 3rd round of the playoffs. We'll have a lot of matchups for you right here. Thank you so much for joining us on the Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team 1 Automotive. High school primetime is next with Buckethead and the King. Thank you so much. Have a fun and safe Halloween. We'll see you in the postseason.
Hi folks, Angie Stevens here. Did you know that Team 1 Automotive employs more families than any other dealership in Northeast Alabama? We're proud to be the leader